If you watched my first G Street Fabric video from their New Year's fabric sale, you know that I visited that store 3 times over that weekend. I'm not proud of it, but I'm so happy I did. I had such great things. So this is part 2. Stick around. I want to show you all the goodies that I got, and hopefully if I've already thought of things that I would like to make with them, I'll share that too. But I got some ones that I would love your assistance with, so sit back and get creative with me. Hi, welcome to part 2 of my G Street Fabric haul. These videos were from the New Year's sale back in January. I just hadn't had a time to post it, so I hope you enjoy. If you watched the first one, then I kind of gave you a rundown of what to expect, and I just wanted to kind of hop on here and say, I know that I might be referencing something that you're like, this isn't January. I know it's not. I made the effort to make the video and they're still relevant because I haven't even started working with all the fabrics yet. So I still wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoy it and you love it. I hope that you, if you haven't already checked out G Street Fabric, check them out online. I will leave a link to their website down below. They have phenomenal fabrics and sometimes they have their sales. You can click the red coupon sort of button that's on their home page to see if there's a sale going on right then and there, or if they have any coupons available. But if you're in the Maryland area, I recommend that you visit in store because they have a clearance room that is just a magical place. And I hope that you get some fabulous sewing done and that this video keeps you company. Bye. But first, let me show you what I have on. This is my striped bubble gauze dress that I made this summer. If you saw my what I made in 2020 video, then you might have seen this. Super comfy. I didn't put any waist darts in here, so just a bust dart. And it's free, has pockets, has that slightly bell sleeve. I'm really excited about this tiered dress, and I did all of the piping myself. I actually made the piping, so this dress is super special to me. But let's get back to the fabric haul. All right, so back to the fabric. As you may know, every time I go to the fabric store, I try to catalog the fabric that I have. For this particular set, I haven't cut them out and, you know, taken my notes on the sticky notes and all of that like I usually do, but I did go ahead and record it on the receipt. So I just made a note of which fabric and the yardage, and that way when it's time for me to go and put it in my booklet, I know exactly how many yards and can put all of those descriptors like I usually do. So you'll see me looking down because I want to revisit the receipt. Yep, so this is the second time I went. So let's get into it. The first fabric that I had cut out, I didn't even have it cut. I just said, let me get all of that. Was this, and hopefully you'll see why when you look at this. Can you look at this fabric for me? So this is close to my skin tone. Look at this color on my skin tone. Do you see this? Am I wrong for loving this fabric? It has a bit of drape to it, but it also has some weight to it. I mean, it's like the Goldilocks of fabric. Like, this fabric is just right. This color is phenomenal. I don't know if this is Chartreuse. I don't know all of, I don't know. Could you see it? I got 2 3/4 yards of this fabric. This was in the clearance section. This was another day where, okay, I have only one fabric that was not purchased in the clearance section. So unless otherwise mentioned, all of the fabric that I'm about to show you was $2.97 a yard. Let's round up to $3 a yard to make it simple. But you can kind of do the math of how much I spent on each one. But this was 2 3/4 yards, so almost 3 yards of fabric in this gorgeous color. And I cannot wait to make something out of it. Because of how many yards I got, I'm really leaning towards a dress. It is a color that, while I think it's absolutely beautiful, I don't really want to fiddle too much with having to pair it with a lot of stuff. And anytime I have a pattern or a color that is a little bit, you know, different, it's out there, but I have to have it, I commit myself to making a one item garment. And that for me would either be a jumpsuit with sleeves or a maxi dress. So I'm leaning towards a dress of some sort, but if you have any better ideas with 2 3/4 yards of fabric in this lovely color, please leave it in the comments down below. I'm still open. I don't think I'll cut into this anytime soon because when I do, I want it to be right. So I'm definitely going to take my time. I'm in no rush to sort of sew this up, but that's our first fabric. I was like, yep, I'm going home with this. Put it on the table. Just give me all of it. So that was the first fabric. Ooh, next up. All right, so next up, I got this lovely black and white floral polyester fabric. It's so drapey, so dreamy, very light. The reason I got this, I already know what I'm going to make with this, so let me just tell you. This I hope to make this month, actually. I want to make this up in January. And I already own this fabric. So this is a fabric I've had for years. Literally, I've had it for years. And this last year, I told myself, oh, this is the year you sew that up into something. I think I had about maybe 1.5 yards of it, not too much. So I was like, make yourself a nice light, you know, house dress. It's definitely sheer. So, I mean, it just wasn't a great idea, all in all. So I've already cut into it, and you know, I wish I hadn't, because now that I have this fabric, I want to turn them into a dress. I'm going to try and pop in a photo of the inspiration of this dress. If it works out, I think it would be the perfect way to not only make use of this older fabric that I have and actually make it a garment that I would wear, but also I felt like the fact that there was a black and white floral print at the store and only how many yards? 1.5 yards of it. I was like, I think the universe is trying to tell me something. I think that dress needs to happen, and I cannot wait to do it. Again, 1.5 yards. I mean, I'm cutting it close, but aren't I always? I'm always cutting it close. So I'm going to use my self-drafted bodice piece. The dress that she's wearing, when I zoomed in, tried to look at it, it looks like the entire bodice is actually sheared. And I've done shearing before. If you've watched my 2020 makes, then I did shearing, but only on the cuffs. The idea that I would shear an entire bodice to like make it stretchy, I'm a little bit nervous about that. If I change anything about the dress, it'll be that detailed. So either I'll insert a zipper, or if I do choose to do the shearing on the bodice, then I think I will make a yoke, like a false yoke. I think I'll do the top of the bodice regular, just so I don't have to fiddle with any parts next to the underarms. Sort of like how this dress is. Make like a line here that goes all the way under the arms, and then have the lower part of the bodice sheared so that it's stretchy and fits, and then go out into the skirts. I don't know, but I know these two fabrics, they'll go together. This was 1.5 yards, got it in the clearance section, and I'm very happy about that. All right, next up, oh gosh. All right, look at this. Look at this. Look at this blue. Did you watch part 1 of my G Street fabric haul? Does this color look familiar to you? Let me cut it. Look at that. Look at that. This is fabric that I got the first time I went to G Street Fabric during the sale. And then I went back and I saw this. And because I always go to the fabric store with my handy dandy notebook, I saw this and I put it up against my little post-it note. And I was like, they're the same color. I am in love. I'm obsessed with this idea of making matching sets. I love coordinated sets. I like the fact that you can wear them all together and look so put together from head to toe, but then you also have this awesome versatility because then you could wear the separates with other things in your wardrobe. So I had to have this. This is a bottom weight fabric, so it is a microfiber. The gentleman, one of the associates there actually, who was helping me and cutting the fabric for me, was like, let me show you how much this fabric actually costs, like in store, if you were going to go and get it. And I think it was upwards of like, it was between $16 and $20. I got this fabric for $3 a yard. It's in the most gorgeous blue color, and I cannot wait to make it up into something. I loved it so much so that I got 4 yards of it. And 4 yards for me at least is a lot. If you saw my, I'm gonna keep saying that. In 2020, I did a 1 yard fabric challenge where I made myself a pair of pants out of 1 yard of fabric. So if I could do that, then that means I have so much that I can do with 4 yards of fabric. I don't necessarily plan to make a dress out of this because, again, it is very substantial. It could make a very nice sort of like structured dress. So I don't know, I won't throw out that possibility, but again, I'm thinking something like a coordinated set where the lighter polyester blue that I picked up on day one could be the dress or maybe a blouse, and then have this be maybe like a pair of pants, a jacket of some sort, a vest or something like that. I'm thinking a vest because the color is so light that I could see myself wanting to wear this in the spring and summer, and I would most likely want to wear a vest if I'm gonna wear it in the warmer months. So let me know in the comments down below what you think this gorgeous blue should be, because I'd love to hear, especially knowing that I have some of that lighter weight polyester. Like, how should I make that a set? Next up, ooh, listen, look at what I got. Look at this. Look at this. So it's very similar. This fabric is very similar to the blue that I picked up, just that the blue feels almost a bit heavier than the pink and a bit softer. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, but yeah, it feels actually very close to this color that I got. So these two fabrics, I don't know, do those go together? I don't know. All right, so when I saw this pink as well as purple, those two colors, honestly, if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, I'm like, I don't really wear a lot of pink. I don't wear too much purple. But as I'm getting older, I don't know, getting really, you know, leaning into that feminine side. But I definitely think that this shade of pink would look really, really great on me. I got 2 3/8 of a yard of this, so almost like 2 1/4 yards almost, right, of this. And again, very substantial. I knew that I wanted to have it just because of the type of fabric that it is, and I'm sure I could think of a number of things to make it into, but I'm not sold, I'm not set on what to make with this at all. So if you do have any ideas, please let me know. I think I want to make some things within the pink and red sort of family in February. So if you have any ideas, let me know, because I may be able to make use of this. There were 2 fabrics in particular. This is another G Street purchase, but I got this, I mean, months ago, months and months and months ago. I think around the time of my birthday, maybe around August or so, I picked this up, and it's so light and airy. It's a beautiful polyester fabric. But like these two, I could wear them together, right? So if this is sort of like something that I wear on top of a dress or bottoms, and this is a blouse, I don't know. But I don't really have too much pink in my wardrobe, so whatever I make will, I think, fill a gap of some sort in my wardrobe. I don't think I can necessarily go wrong. I'm very excited to use this. What's next? What did I get next? Ooh. All right. You know how I tend to say, like, if I didn't buy anything else this day, Like I'm glad I got this. Again, I got too many good things on this day at G Street Fabric, so I don't want to say that, but this by far is probably one of the nicest feeling materials that I've ever been able to pet. I'm so happy I have this. This is wool, 100% wool. And I don't know why I don't know this, but in my mind, wool is for coats, wool is for sweaters and mittens and gloves and different things like that. Wool does not feel this soft. Wool is not this supple. Wool is not this thin and light. And yet this is 100% wool. So my friends, I'm learning something every single day in this sewing world, because if you would have told me to identify this fabric, that is the last material I would have ever said. And yet I'm learning wool. I mean, wool is a fiber, right? So yes, it can be made into many types of fabrics. And I'm thrilled to have this. I think more so because knowing that it's wool, that it's a natural fiber, it's going to last me, it's going to be a quality piece, whatever I turn it into. And I got 5 yards of it. Like, when I learned that, and I know it's wool, I know that it's a natural fiber because the gentleman who's cutting it for me, he is the best. Like, he's my favorite person to meet when I go to G Street Fabric. And he actually cut a little piece of it and lit it on fire for me so that he could teach me how to identify the difference between polyester fabrics and natural fibers. And I mean, I was wearing my mask, but you could faintly smell like burning hair because wool is hair. But yeah, it's so beautiful. I cannot describe enough to you how soft this is. It's beautiful. I don't even think I'm gonna cut into, like, I'm in no rush to cut into it, but it was one of those things that it was necessary for me, having discovered it there in the clearance section, wool, for $3 a yard. It was imperative that I brought some of it home, even if I wasn't going to sew it until next fall or next winter. Like, I'm okay with that, but I want to have this. And in order to make it something that I think that will last me a really long time, I'm leaning towards making a mod cloth inspired dress, like a work dress that I could wear, that's midi length approximately, really nice, like sleeveless, that I can layer with things, or with sleeves so that I could wear it year round. But because it's black, I don't feel like it's something I would reach for in the warmer months. So I'm okay making it sleeveless with the intention to wear it layered with things under or over it. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. And then with whatever I have remaining in the fabric, I can make pants or anything else with that. But let me know, what would you make with wool that is this light and thin? Maybe a blouse. I don't know. I don't know what to make with it, but I want it to be good. Like, I want it to be really, really good. So leave any suggestions down in the comments below. I got 5 yards of this on clearance. He also walked me to the section where they have their wools so that I could check the pricing. And I mean, friends, wool is not cheap. I'm sure you did not expect it to be cheap, but it's expensive, and I felt so lucky. I felt so lucky to have found this. All right, next up. Ooh, maybe georgette. Okay, so next up, I got this navy. It's a georgette fabric, I think. So it's a polyester fabric, but it's definitely has a bit of weight to it. It's not stretchy, but it's like, you see what it has give to it, but it's not stretchy. This is in a navy color. I picked up a really beautiful light polyester navy. Back. I think I got that at the thrift store. Do I have it next to me? I'm not gonna pull it out, but I have a very light and airy navy polyester, and when I found this, because the georgette has a bit of body to it, I figured I'd be able to pair those two things together and get a really, really nice dress out of it. Again, I'm leaning towards something ModCloth inspired that would last me years and years and be a very timeless silhouette. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I only have, what, 2 yards of this fabric. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 2 yards is a lot, especially if I'm pairing it with a different type of material. So if I have any left over, this is definitely, I could try and do one of my 1 yard pants again out of the remainder of it if I have that much left. But yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do with this. This was another one where I thought it's better that I have it in my stash and kind of figure out what to do with it than to not pick it up. So I'm excited that I have this as well. Ooh. So do you remember in the first haul, I showed you I got this really beautiful polyester light blue? Look at what I got on my second trip. Look at this. This cobalt blue with this. Can you imagine these two together? Like a stripe? Like together? I was watching Simply Shauna. I love her channel on YouTube, but she had done a haul from, I want to say Target, I think it was, and they had this beautiful dress that had pink, a really deep like hot pink, and then red together, and it was just beautiful. The red part was pleated, and I was thinking to myself, you know, you have this light blue, you have this cobalt blue, I think I have a navy that is not as shiny, like silky as this, but I do have another polyester navy. And I thought if you did the navy with the pleats in it, like, could you make a dress that's similar to that? I don't know what the answer is to that, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Pleating fabric is something that is on my like wish list, or my like my resolutions, if you would put it that way. In sewing, I made a pleating board last year, and I've done some test runs. That's what's behind me here. So I've done some test runs on my pleating board, trying out different material types, and the cottons and the rayons do not pleat. So after going in the washer machine and the dryer, all the pleats just fell out. But that makes sense. Like cotton, the natural fibers would not hold a pleat. Rayon, I don't actually know what rayon is made of, but that does not hold a pleat. But the polyesters hold pleats really well. So, you know, now that I know that, I can plan to do some pleats if I wanted to actually do like a blue variation similar to that dress that Shauna had in that video. So that's something that I'm considering. And the reason why I'm thinking of mixing it with something else is because I only have 1 1/4 yards of this fabric. So it's not much at all. It's a beautiful drape. It would make a nice blouse as well, but I mean, a blouse or a dress, you know, I don't know. Let me know, what would you do with this? Would you try and test out mixing these two, or would you keep it simple and just make a blouse? Let me know in the comments below what to do about this cobalt blue situation. But because, again, I had my notebook with me and remembered that I had that blue fabric, being able to feel it, because I do put in a fabric swatch. Since I was able to feel the fabric while I was at G Street, I knew that it was the same fabric as the cobalt blue one. So it made sense for me to get them in case I wanted to use them together. Ooh, guys, the next thing that I got, I'm almost as excited about this fabric as I am about the wool that I got. Let me show you. I think this one might also be a wool blend or a cotton blend. I don't know what it is, but it's gorgeous. Look at this. So this color is called like Ecru, I think, Ecru. And so it's sort of like a khaki, but if the color is really being picked up well, it's beyond a khaki. Like it's in like the khaki green family almost. But do you see, it's this border that's at the top. This is what's making me think it's a wool blend or like a cotton blend or something. Is anybody out there who knows what this means? You know, since I'm shopping in the clearance section, they don't come on bulk, so it's anybody's guess. The gentleman at the counter, he's very well versed in fabrics. We definitely think it's a natural fiber, but yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is in terms of composition, but I fell in love with this fabric. So much so that I came home, and because I felt guilty about being at the fabric store again, I told my husband, I was like, hey, you want me to make you some dress pants out of these? He's like, yeah, you can make dress pants. And I was like, I don't know, but I can try. So I have committed to making him some dress pants out of these. And as soon as I said it, I was like, what? Why would you say that? To be fair, I have been sewing all of 2020 and never made him anything, mostly because I didn't think he would like anything that I would be able to make him necessarily, and I am frightened to make menswear. Like, that's not my thing. I want to make dresses and pretty things and pants that fit my body. Like, that's what I know. The idea of making men's trousers with, I've never done like an open fly, the front fly closure. I've never done that. Just so many things, the way that men's pockets are, just so many things I'm so nervous about. But if I'm able to tackle that, if I'm able to overcome that obstacle, this is gonna be a great pair of pants. But yeah, I only have 2 yards of this, I think is what I got from the store. So I'm absolutely certain I could get his pair of pants out of this, but I was sad that that meant I no longer have this for myself. But I felt like I got a lot of fabric. It's time to stop being so selfish. So that is something I'm excited for. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but I'm excited to tackle that. And I think this is a beautiful fabric, and I cannot wait to try making some men's pants out of this. All right, so the last thing I got on this day, I was about to leave. I was waiting to go and pay for my things and get out of this store because they have taken all of my money over those past 2 days. So I was like, you just need to leave. They have apparel fabric, but they also have upholstery fabric. So I was just perusing. They had this whole table spread out of discounted upholstery fabric. I said I'd take a little look, and I came across this. You see this? Is the light picking up all of the beauty and the sheen and the gorgeousness that is this fabric? Now listen, guys, I know it's meant to be upholstery. I know that someone is supposed to put this up as a curtain. I don't know, put it on a poof, I guess. This wants to be a jacket. This wants to be a jacket. It told me so. It was confused for upholstery fabric once upon a time, but I saw through it. I know this wants to be a jacket, and I cannot wait to do it that joyous honor and make it into, look, oh, do you see it with what I'm wearing? Could I? Okay, no, this is too much. I can't even see it, but I know it's not. I apologize. Let's go back. Let's look at this. I love it. I love it. And when I saw it with this, can you imagine this as a dress? And I'm saying that because I went back a third time. I went to G Street Fabric again and got more of this fabric, which is why I'm saying a dress. Because I know I've already promised this as a pair of pants for my husband, but I got more. So anyways, when I make this into a dress for myself, could you see this together? Could you see it together? I feel like it's perfect. I feel like it's perfect. All of the colors in here, or even when I make that black wool dress, this over top of a black dress, could you see it? I'm very excited about this. It is dry clean only, so they say. So that, you know, I felt like, oh gosh, dry clean only, because I really like low maintenance. Low maintenance when it comes to my clothing. Like, I want to be able to put it in the washer machine. I could air dry it. I'm okay to do that, but the idea of having to take something to the dry cleaner. So I am going to pre-wash this and just see, like, I'm gonna toss a little snippet in there and see if it does any damage to it on like the delicate setting in the washer machine, and then I'll just hang dry it and see how it turns out. I'm willing to take that risk and see, because the likelihood of me always running to the dry cleaner to get this cleaned is very low. So I do want to be able to at least take care of it myself at home, or I'll hand wash it or whatever needs to be done, spot clean it, I don't know. But yes, this multicolored upholstery fabric, I love it. I also want to let you know how much I paid for it. I got 2 yards of it, and it was $7.97 a yard. So this was the most expensive thing that I got, you know, per yard wise. But because of how much I spent overall, I got $10 off my entire order. So for me, I basically just thought of it as like $10 off of this. So in my mind, I only paid $4 and something cents for it. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that. I paid like $5 for this because I got $10 off. Since everything else was on clearance anyways for $3 a yard, I feel like this is really where I needed that $10 savings to go. So I'm happy I got it. I'm glad that I perused the upholstery section. This is another thing where, like, because I'm not going into the office at work just yet, it's not something that I could see myself lounging in the house and just throwing on, or going to the grocery store in this, right? There are not many places I'm going. So again, not in a rush to make this. I really want to find the perfect pattern for this, because while I want it to be some sort of jacket, I want it to be a very lovely jacket, something that's a bit different, but probably on the easier side to make, because the print is so bold and big. I don't want something with princess seams or a ton of darts that's going to have to break that up. I want it to be kind of seamless and really smooth, really chic and elegant. Yeah, so I cannot wait to make that. All in all, I mean, that was my second trip to G Street Fabric for their New Year's sale. How do you think I did, guys? I think I did quite well. So in total, I think that day, I don't even want to tell you guys my totals. Like, goodness gravy. I got, I can't do math that fast. 9, 10. So I got almost 23 yards of fabric for about $65, which, yeah, I would take those odds, because that's a lot of yardage and great quality fabrics. Remember, I have that wool in there. I have a lot of those georgettes. I have those amazing silks, and also this beautiful ecru. I'm leaning towards a cotton or wool blend, not quite sure, but got a lot of great things. So much so that, like the fabric addict that I'm becoming, I had one final lap before the sale ended. And in the next video, I will show you the final things that I got. All right, I'm glad that you got through part 2 of my G Street Fabric New Year's sale video. Was it good? Did you see how things are coming together? My wardrobe, I think, for the next couple of years, because it'll probably take me a few years to get through all of this fabric, is going to be epic, and I cannot wait. But I did want to just mention, if you watched part 1, then you know I'm still working on the red collection. It's happening. You should be getting a video soon, if you haven't seen it already, of what I made in the red collection, because I'm just gonna share what I have at this point. It makes absolutely no sense to keep holding off and waiting. I think of the 3 like complete items that I have, I feel good about them for the most part. I have 2 items that are sort of in flux. It's in limbo. Will I finish them now? Will I not? One, the blazer for sure. It's not happening. Like, we're not talking to her right now. But the red lace top, if I'm able to figure it out or just make it sleeveless, that's probably how we're gonna go until I can figure out how to best apply a sleeve, or if I could get more of that fabric, which I've purchased too many and cut too much fabric already to try and make a sleeve for that, and I just want it to be done as well. So hopefully you will be seeing a video of my red collection makes pretty soon, and I hope you enjoy at least the pieces I was able to come up with. But as I mentioned before in my previous video, I had about 3 weeks, all of the start of April. I did not touch my sewing machine. Work was that crazy and life was just that intense. So it's been about 3 weeks. I just recently was able to go ahead and hop on the sewing machine. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to get some things squared away and done. Honestly, I'm ready for all of my pretty dresses, and I've just been dreaming of some designer makes that I want to recreate or be inspired by in my upcoming dresses. So I'm looking forward to that, and I cannot wait to share those with you. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and part 3 is coming up, so stay tuned. Subscribe, like, do all those things down below so you don't miss it. Bye.